And now for our third and final story this evening. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring James Kovach. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with him, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
You know, Chester, it's a morning like this that makes a man glad to be alive.
It is a fine one, all right, Marshal Dillon.
Yeah? Yep.
Yeah, it's a little nippy, but just fine, just fine.
Ah, good. Pedro's got fire going.
I built the fire, Marshal Dillon.
Oh! Good morning, Caleb.
I've been waiting at this jail office for a full 2 hours. What time do you start work, Marshal?
You know Caleb Andrews, don't you, Chester?
Oh, yes, indeed. How are you doing, Mr. Andrews?
Marshal, I have an order here from the U.S. District Court. I believe it's your job to serve these orders.
Yeah, it is. I don't get them often, though. Order of the foreclosure and eviction of Ed Blake? Why are you doing this to Ed, Caleb?
The man borrowed money from me. Gave me a mortgage on his farm and household effects. He can't pay it. Why do you think I'm doing it?
Well, it only came due 3 days ago. So don't waste any time.
Well, I'm not interested in your opinions, Marshal Dillon.
Amount of the mortgage, $420. What do you need with $420? You own half of Ford County now.
Marshal, it's not your place to be telling me.
You know as well as I do why Ed Blake can't pay this off. He rolled his horse rolled on him last spring and broke his leg. Then his wife and kid nearly broke their backs trying to get a crop out.
I didn't come here to listen to you lecture me.
If you let this ride on through the winter, you'll get your money out of it. But if you go ahead and foreclose now, you'll wipe them out.
Marshal, I have already foreclosed.
You would break a man for $420 you don't even need, huh?
As I said, your opinion doesn't matter, and it doesn't interest me either. All I expect from you is to serve these papers.
All right, I'll serve them.
Now, you'll notice on the top there, they're to be served today.
I said I'd serve them. Now get out.
What?
This office belongs to the United States government, and as far as I know, that's one thing you ain't got no mortgage on, so get out.
Well, you may find I have some influence in Washington, Marshal Dillon.
And see if you can get some decent salary for this rotten job of mine.
It sure was a fine morning.
Yeah, it was. All right, Chester, let's saddle up. This is one job I surely wish we didn't have to do, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Dillon. This is one job I really wish we wouldn't have to do.
Yeah, but we don't have any choice, Chester.
Yes, sir. I know. It's a downright shame, though.
Hey, Marshal.
Oh, whoa, boy. Hiya, Jimmy.
Looky here what I got, Marshal.
Well, that looks to me like a mighty dead coyote.
He's been killing my chickens, so last night I hid out behind the barn.
Yeah?
I got him with one shot, Mr. Dillon. and there wasn't even a full moon.
Well, that's fine, Jimmy.
Matt Dillon, how are ya?
Oh, good morning, Martha.
And Chester, too.
Ms. Blake?
Well, I'm glad to see you. Get down. Come on in.
Well, thank you.
Jimmy, now that you showed that thing to Mr. Dillon, take it away somewhere.
All right, Mom.
He's real proud of those chickens of his. He's done fine with them. Well, here I am, though, keeping you standing out here in the yard. Come on, let's go inside.
Well, we really can't stay, Martha.
Oh, nonsense. You don't get out here once in a coon's age.
Yeah, I know, but you see,
And you're just in time. Your favorite dish, Matt. I was about to take it out of the oven when you rode up.
Cornbread. Buttermilk cornbread.
That's right. Ed's not here, but you will stay, won't you?
Well, Martha, I'd like to, but, well, we just can't, and that's all. The thing is that, you say Ed's away?
Yes, he's in town. Matt, you're not yourself. What is it?
Well, I suppose I ought to talk to Ed about this, but maybe it'll be better if it hears it from you.
Here's what?
Martha, I got a court order here. It has to do with the mortgage of Caleb Andrews. It's an order of foreclosure and eviction and sale.
Oh, we were so sure he'd extend it. He knows what happened and why we couldn't pay it. We were sure he'd extend it.
Well, he won't. I talked to him.
Oh, Matt. How long before we have to get out?
5 days.
So soon? Oh, you were right, Matt. It is better that Ed hears it from me. Come on top of everything else. It'll just... Well, I can't let it break him. I just can't let it break him.
Martha, if there's anything I can do, you let me know, huh?
Matt, I don't blame you for this. I understand. Well, come on in now and have some cornbread with us.
It's not your fault, Matt. Somebody had to serve the order.
Somebody has to be hangman, too.
Life's never all good, Matt. There's always a little bad in it.
It's my job. It's more than a little.
Try making a living sometime as a dance hall girl.
Yeah, I guess. But when you gotta go out and boot somebody like the Blakes off their land and out of their home, then you start wondering what's right and what's wrong. That's all.
Well, if you find out, Matt, you let me know. I've always wondered.
Oh, there you are, Marshal. I stopped by the jail.
Well, all right, Caleb. What's on your mind?
Well, that Blake family, Marshal, they were supposed to vacate today. Well, they haven't done it. I rode by there today and just a little while ago.
Well, according to the court order, they got till sundown.
But they haven't made the slightest preparations to... Marshal, I'd really believe I'd prefer to discuss business elsewhere than in the presence of this, well...
Easy, Caleb.
Matt, I'll go.
Caleb, you're going to apologize to Miss Kitty right now.
Matt, no.
Apologize? Well, if you think I'm going to apologize to this cheap little baggage who...
Oh.
Matt, you shouldn't have done that.
Why not, Kitty? He had it coming to him.
He'll do everything he can to hurt you now. He'll take it out on the Blakes, too.
Yeah, maybe. Look, Kitty, I just got an idea. I'll see you later.
All right, Matt.
How'd it go over at the bank, Marshal Dillon?
No luck, Chester. Clem would like to help, but he's too afraid of what Caleb will do if he gives the Blakes a loan.
Seems Mr. Andrews has everyone scared in town. Now have a seat here by the fire, Marshal, and get it gets awful chillish out tonight.
Yeah, I guess we better have Pedro lay some more wood.
Yes, sir. Then when winter sets in, it always makes you feel good to know you got a warm place to hole up. Be mighty rough not to have a place to.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Chester.
You suppose they vacated this afternoon?
I don't know. We'll ride out there in the morning and find out.
Can we bother you, Matt?
Ed, of course. Come in. Martha.
Hello.
Well, hiya, Jimmy.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, come on up to the stove, folks. Come on.
Matt, well, the fact is that we kind of, we kind of like to impose on you for tonight. We haven't got any place to go, no money, and wondered if we could sleep in your jail tonight.
Oh, sure, Ed. Chester, will you go get a fire going back there and grab some more blankets, too?
All right, Marshal. Want to come help me, Jimmy? Jimmy?
Well, now, you just go along and help Chester out, boy. Now, go on.
All right.
He just doesn't understand all this, Matt. He's...
Ed, we may as well get your stuff out of the wagon, I guess.
Well, there ain't any wagon, Matt. We walked into town.
6 miles? With that leg?
I know, but that wagon you see and the horses and all the household goods, well, they're all covered by the mortgage. We didn't take anything except the clothes on our backs.
Oh, so help me, Ed. So help me. If I could just...
No, it's all right, Matt. We know how you feel. But after all, we started with nothing before. We can do it again. Ed and I can accept it. We're not bitter any longer. Jimmy can't understand. He's been carrying on pretty bad, but he's just a boy. And in time, he'll be able to...
Marshal Dillon! Marshal Dillon!
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
It's Jimmy. He grabbed a rifle off the rack and took out the back way. I couldn't stop him.
Huh.
But where on earth's he going?
I think I know where he's going. And help Caleb Andrews if we don't catch him.
Marshal, that's Mr. Andrews' house on the corner. It looks dark.
Yeah, he may not be home. I sure hope he ain't.
No sign of the boy around. Reckon he may have broke into the house, Marshal?
Maybe. Anyhow, it's 10 to 1. This is where he's headed for. His mother said he was real upset about it. It's just like a kid to... Chester,
Yeah.
there's somebody back in that tree. Up there on the left.
Oh yeah. I think it's him.
Yeah, it's him, all right. I can see the moonlight on the rifle barrel. Wait here, and I'm going to go talk to him, Chester.
Yeah.
Jimmy, it's me, Matt Dillon.
Go away, Mr. Dillon.
I can't do that, Jimmy. Now, you're a friend of mine, and I figure you're waiting here to do something that you'd be sorry for, and I can't let you do that.
Nothing you can do about it, Mr. Dillon. I got a gun here and I'm going to kill him. You go away now and leave me alone.
Jimmy, I know how you feel. I don't like Caleb either, but killing him's no answer. Your folks feel bad enough already. Think about how it would hurt them if you did.
Stop, Mr. Dillon. Now you stay where you are. Don't come any closer.
I have to, Jimmy. It's my job. So if you're going to go through with this, I guess you'll have to kill me first.
No, Mr. Dillon. Now stay back.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I don't have a choice, but you do.
No. Oh, no, I couldn't shoot you, Mr. Dillon. You know that.
Sure. I knew you couldn't.
Well, I kept waking up nights and hearing Mom crying. Dad would sit up all night without the lamp lit, no fire, not saying anything, just sitting.
Easy now, Jimmy.
Why'd he do this to us, Mr. Dillon?
So you listen to me. Will you do something for a friend?
Yeah, if you say so.
All right. Then take that rifle back to the jail and put it up in the rack and go to bed. Now, you promise?
Yeah, I promise, Mr. Dillon. I'm sorry, and I'll do like you say.
I could have told you Clem Bates wouldn't do anything, Matt. He wouldn't dare. He'd be scared Caleb would take his money out of the bank.
Yeah, that's about what he said. I don't know, Kitty. I've done everything I could possibly think of.
Oh, the worst of it is everybody in town's just as scared of Caleb as Clem is. I doubt if they'd even have the nerve to bid against him at the sale.
Yeah, I know. He'll probably get the place for not much more than the amount of the mortgage.
$420, Matt. I've seen more than that change hands across a poker table here in one deal. To think that's all it takes.
I beg your pardon, Miss Kitty. I'm not usually one to eavesdrop on people, but I've been listening to you two.
Jack, have you met Marshal Dillon?
No, I haven't. Pleasure, sir. The reason I butted in, Miss Kitty, I heard you talking about these people losing their home. I don't know this fella Blake. He's never done any business at my table and probably never will.
No, I don't think he's ever been in here.
Oh yeah, well yeah. And I don't know if this will make any sense, but well, the thing is, I left home when I was 10 years old, and I've been drifting ever since. When I see somebody like this Blake that sticks it out, works hard, fights, and then gets a raw deal, well, I'm getting. I guess what I'm getting at is, look, here's $50 if you think that'll help. Okay?
Well, that's awful decent of you, Jack.
Well, I guess there's some who ain't afraid of Caleb. Like Jack here. And me. And the rest of the dealers and the gamblers and the girls and the bartenders and...
Well, that's right, Miss Kitty.
Because we're drifters. We got nothing to lose, Matt. I'll raise $420 right here in the Texas Trail.
By heaven, Kitty, I think you could.
Well, I can't do as well as Jack, but here's 20 from me. Boys, everybody!
Yeah.
Now listen to me for a minute.
Uh-huh.
I got something to say.
What you saying?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, what do we need to do? Well, now, I told him what you said, Marshal Dillon.
Well, that ought to bring him out in the run, if anything will. Anytime Caleb figures he's about to lose $1 or $2, it's hitting him where it hurts.
Marshal, what's this all about?
Well, shut the door, Caleb. We're trying to keep it warm in here.
Would you mind telling me why I've been called all the way over here at this time of night?
Here's your $420. The Blakes want to pay off the mortgage.
What? They do they?
If the court costs up to now probably run about $10, I'll pay that myself.
That's mighty generous of you. Well, good night, Marshal.
So it's a deal then?
I'm not interested in the least bit about having that mortgage paid off, Marshal Dillon. The Blake farm is worth more than $2,000, and in 5 years it'll be worth 3 times that much. Land's going up in Ford County. That's why I'm grabbing up every piece of it I can to get my hands on. So I don't want your money. I want the farm. And when it's put up for sale, I'll get it. at my own price. Well, you see, the foreclosure still goes. Good night, gentlemen.
Well, I guess that's that, Marshal.
I don't know why I even thought he'd take the money. Blake's won't get a cent out of the sale. He'll scare everybody off and bid at a few dollars over the amount of the mortgage, and nobody in town will even try to...
Well, try to
Even.
what? Huh? What are we going to try to do,
Chester?
Marshal?
I'm going to go over and wake up Clem Bates. I got an idea, and if it works, we'll hold that sale at noon tomorrow.
That's pretty short notice. You going to try to find an auctioneer?
I don't need an auctioneer, Chester. This one I'm going to run myself.
Huh?
Oh, this should be really
I just can't
interesting.
believe that we have to be here.
All right, everybody, all right. Now, all of you know what we're here for. This is a foreclosure sale of the property and household effects of Edward and Martha Blake, ordered by the court at the request of that fine-spirited, good-hearted public benefactor and friend and neighbor to us all, Caleb Andrews.
Marshal, I refuse to tolerate those kind
Caleb,
of
I think we better get one thing straight right now. The law tells me I got to conduct this sale, but the law doesn't tell me what I got to say while I'm conducting it.
Well, then get on with the sale, then.
All right. Now, first thing I'm offering here is a breadboard. Ms. Blake tells me she used this for nearly 10 years. That's a lot of loaves of bread. A lot of years. As you can see, it's pretty badly battered up. I doubt if it'd be worth much to anybody, unless they were used to it. Suppose we start at 50 cents. Is there anybody here low enough to bid 50 cents on Mrs. Blake's breadboard?
I don't think I'd be doing that.
How about you, Caleb?
Marshal, I'm not interested in a breadboard. Get on with the sale.
Right then. The second item is a crib. You'll notice it's handmade, rough construction, never been painted, and it's been well used. Ed built it himself 12 years ago, just before Jimmy was born. There are teeth marks all over the slats here, but, it really doesn't hurt anything. Also, there's
Marshal Dillon, may I suggest that you just lump the household effects together and offer them as one bulk item?
I'm sorry, Caleb. I'd rather offer them one at a time. Unless, of course, you care to waive all claim on the household effects and withdraw them from the order of foreclosure.
Then I waive the claim. The household goods are withdrawn. Now, get on with the house and the land.
So ordered.
Oh,
Good for him.
they can just get some of their things. That's
Now, the item offered here is 160 acres of tillable land, a 4-room house, and a barn. I won't read through the description. You all know the property. It's a good farm. The amount of the mortgage is $420, held by Caleb Andrews. All right, bidding's open. What am I offering?
$450.
$450 from Caleb Andrews. Do I hear another bid? Now, this farm's worth $2,000. Are you going to let him have it for $450? How about another bidder?
Marshal Dillon?
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
Well, I've been thinking some lately about getting me a little place like this, settling down, and I'm gonna bid $1,000.
Whoa, where did you get that kind of money?
$1,000.
That's good money.
I have $1,000. Do I hear another bid?
Oh, this is a trick. He doesn't want this place.
$1,000.
Going once.
1,200.
Caleb Andrews bids $1,200. What do you say, Chester?
Well, sir, I've been thinking I'd kind of like to farm. I would. 1,500.
Whoa, wow, that's great.
This is
Enjoy.
ridiculous.
The bid is $1,500. Going once. Going twice.
But 1,600.
$1,600 from Mr. Andrews. Chester.
Well, now I was thinking maybe $8,420.
Whoa, where did he get that much money? Wow, that's a lot of
He's
money
never
for
had
that.
that much money in his whole life.
Do I hear another bid? Well, what do you say, Caleb?
What do you take me for? Some kind of fool?
Going once, going twice. Sold!
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well,
So happy for him.
$1,420.
Great.
The
Wow.
buyer will come forward and complete the sale.
Don't you worry none about me, Mr. Andrews. I got it right here. There's $8,000 in $500 bills, and here is the 420.
Where did you ever get so much cash?
Well, I saved my pay, Mr. Andrews, and of course I drink just mostly beer, and it adds up after a while. You know that?
Caleb, I guess $420 of this is yours, and that takes care of the mortgage. Well, Ed, looks like you made a pretty fair profit on this place.
Well, yeah, gosh, a lot better than I expected, Matt.
Here's your money.
Thank you, Matt. But I tell you, I'd still rather have the farm than the money.
Well, now, I've been sort of thinking it over, Mr. Blake, and maybe I kind of lost my head a little. When you come right down to it, I don't know what I'd ever do with the farm. So if you'd like to buy it back, I'll take a $420 loss and sell it back to you for $8,000 cash.
Well, done. Here's your money. Well, this is
Okay.
unheard of. They can't do it, Marshal.
Well, as far as I know, there's no law against a man selling his own property, Caleb.
Now the way I see it, Mr. Andrews, is right this minute you're a trespasser on my property. Come on, let's go.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you.
Go with me, Blake.
Worked out really
Who
well.
do you think you are, manhandling?
Chester? You better get that $8,000 back to the bank. Clem Bates is probably worrying himself into a breakdown for fear that somebody will find out he let us have it.
Well, all right, Mr. Dillon. I'll see you in town later. I'll make
Yep.
it straight down there.
Yep.
Oh, Matt, I don't know how we can ever thank you for what you've done.
Oh, not me, Martha. Thank the bunch that work at the Texas Trail. You know, they're bums and drifters, most of them, but when Kitty told them the story, they really came through.
We'll pay it back, Matt, every cent of it. And, well, that girl Kitty, I guess I've said some hard things about her in the past, but, Matt, will you ask her to come out to dinner some afternoon? I'd like to thank her myself.
Sure, Martha, I'll ask her. And I think she'll appreciate that. More than you'll ever know.
Gunsmoke stars James Kovach as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield. Featured in tonight's cast were David Griffith, Deborah Griffith, Andy Knode, MaryBeth Knode, James Kovach, and Lisa Domenicucci. I've been your announcer, Gary Kaiser, and be sure to listen for us next month in a spooky Halloween special. Until then, from all of us here, thank you for tuning in, and good night.